Welcome back. The Brewers funding bill now in the hands of the state Senate. A committee hearing now scheduled for Wednesday.
The Assembly passed a $646 million plan on a bipartisan 69-27 vote. The deal includes $411 million from the state through taxes and player salaries, $135 million from the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County, and an additional $100 million from the Brewers. The governor says he backs the Assembly plan.
Well, we got to get it done, and I'm ready to support it as is.
David Crowley is the Milwaukee County executive who also announced his re-election bid this past week. He joins us now. County executive, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Let's start with Brewers. Republicans who support this have described you as a partner who backs this deal. Is that an accurate description?
Yeah, I would say that is an accurate description. When it came down to negotiating around the Brewers deal, we wanted to make sure that we not only protected Milwaukee County taxpayers, that we protected Wisconsin taxpayers, and found a way to keep the Brewers here. And so when I think about this current deal that we have on the table, this is something that is going to be beneficial for Milwaukee County, making sure that we can continue to have the Brewers here and make quality investments for all of our Milwaukee County residents.
If you were in the Assembly, would you have voted yes?
I would have voted yes, absolutely.
The agreement doesn't restore Milwaukee and Milwaukee County's appointees to what we know will now be this new stadium district board. Has the governor talked with you about any guarantees on the four people he will appoint?
Well, has been many conversations around this. And again, as you mentioned, this is going to the Senate right now. And so there may be some changes happening there. We've heard about the ticket surcharge. We've also talked about a representation for the city of Milwaukee County. So I know that I'm looking forward to any changes and conversations that we need to have in the Senate to make sure that we have representation and we continue to protect our taxpayers.
Do you anticipate that will come out of the Senate, that you for sure Milwaukee County gets an appointee to the board?
I hope so. I mean, if we're going to be contributing to this type of deal, we should have some representation.
There's been talks about the ticket tax, non-game items, game items. What are your thoughts on that conversation, which would reduce the state's burden, not likely the county's?
Well, at the end of the day, we want to protect all taxpayers. And so even when you think about reducing the state's burden, that's going to be a good thing moving forward. But, for us, it's about making sure that we're also reducing our burden. We were able to get that over the finish line, seeing the reduction from $5 million from Milwaukee County to $2.5 million. So we're going to continue to have these conversations, and hopefully we have another bipartisan deal coming out of the Senate.
Let's talk about your re-election bid. The election is in April, same day as the presidential primary, same day as the mayor's race. There'll be a lot happening here in Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. As you look ahead, what do you see as your biggest challenge to winning re-election?
Well, when you think about the past 3 years, we've been able to do a lot for Milwaukee County residents, investing in Milwaukee County to be much more healthy and more equitable. But when you think about the challenges, we still have a challenge when it comes down to our structural deficit. But what I will say is that for the past 3 years, we've been tackling big ticket items that we haven't been able to tackle for many decades. When we think about the dollars that we've invested in affordable housing, the small businesses that were struggling and how we invested millions of dollars into those small businesses, tackling the opioid crisis head on, but more importantly, being able to secure Milwaukee County's fiscal future when you think about the revenue reform package that we were able to get passed with a bipartisan vote at the state of Wisconsin.
Do you think that the sales tax, which again goes into effect in January, is going to resonate with voters in your favor as you look toward your re-election campaign?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, for our 0.4% sales tax, it's not a huge hit, right? But if we didn't have this 0.4% sales tax, it would have hit our most vulnerable residents even worse. When we think about our low-income neighborhoods, when we think about people with disabilities, our seniors, not being able to invest in mental health services or a Milwaukee County transit system, and the one thing that people use for mental and physical refuge is our Milwaukee County parks. We would have been having to cut some of our most major used amenities within Milwaukee County.
There's always talk about political futures. Will you serve your entire term if elected?
I will be serving my entire term. I know there are a lot of people who are in office who have different levels of ambition, but I do plan on running my full term.
How would you characterize your level of ambition?
How would I characterize it? I have it. I don't know what the next seat would look like, but I'm just looking forward to continuing being the county executive.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, thank you so much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up next, an official state cocktail.